And here we are. Best decision I ever made was starting my own website. Right? Could you imagine when the PayPal thing went down? And it was clearly some wild stuff. But if the PayPal, imagine if the PayPal thing went down, right? And I was beholden to like a fucking eBay or something, which basically works hand in hand as a tandem. And I got like the whole store got shut down. That could have been fucked, right? But it's some things you see, some things you don't. What I was looking at it mainly financially, but also seeing like the inevitable, right? By the time I like got this thing going, I had already been taken off of platforms before. I had my Twitter suspensions. I had my Facebook suspensions. Having to fight to get my pages back, right? Y'all remember I went that what? It was like I was banned. I can't remember. It was like at least 4 to 6 months. There was a 4 to 6 month period where I was not on Twitter. You never know. So I'm like, okay, man, I gotta protect myself against that. And so that's why I did it. So yeah, it's just using that as a prime example. Handling my own distribution. It kind of ties into the website thing. But that was another big thing. It was, why wouldn't you just use the direct market? Well, it doesn't make sense for me financially. It's a middleman effectively because the newsstand isn't a seller anymore. And there are people that still believe that. Fine. I'm just telling you right now, from what I picked up from comic book shop owners, there is no newsstand anymore, right? People are let me explain what I mean by that. It does not mean that there aren't people that browse. It's just that the vast majority of the comic book customer now that does even buy in store already knows what they're going to buy. Very rarely are people going and they're like, whoa, what is that? I'm intrigued by it. I want to buy it, right? That it's not to say that it doesn't happen. It's just that that's not how people are getting their information anymore. That's not how it's not. People already know they're going there to pick up their pull list. And sure, they may be like, oh, what is this? But for the most part, the vast majority, let's just say just say this. It's a minority now of people that are browsing like that. That's just how it is. The way I know that, right? Part of the way I know that, I was that guy. I already knew when I was still buying books, some of them reviewing for my channel, right? I already knew what I was getting. I knew what was coming out that week. So it's just the dynamics a lot different. People used to go to the comic book shop for discovery, and that's just not really the case anymore. So I couldn't make that make sense for me, right? So yeah, there can be of benefit, right? Sure. Convenience, cutting out the shipping, right? So people can just go buy, maybe more intrigued to go to a comic book shop or a bookstore and buy. And we sell to shops, right? We sell to shops. We do sell to shops. We have a retailer portal, in case you didn't know. Portal, excuse me. So if you want to go have your like local comic book shop actually buy directly from us, they can do that. And we have a retailer rate. But it's like I'm cutting out so many middlemen by just handling the distribution myself. I could not make sense of making that my primary model. If my primary model could be direct to customer, making that my direct market my primary, that's to say that we don't do it or won't do it. It doesn't make sense for that to be the crux of the company as far as how we sell things. Doesn't make any sense. So I made an adjustment. Less of adjustment. It's just that I didn't want to make that. I wanted to handle our own distribution. I wanted to actually, and again, sometimes now we're talking real business, right? Who would have thought? Think about this. I may have mentioned this last stream. If I don't handle my own distribution, there is no Rippercent. And I didn't create that aspect of the company where we have our own distribution with the intention that I was going to be like publishing other stuff that wasn't Rippaverse as far as its IP being owned, its creator owned. But that doesn't happen. If that's so, that opportunity, one that I couldn't foresee. But the only reason that happened is because I controlled the distribution. I said we were going to control that, and that opened up so many other opportunities. right? Now we have this great infrastructure. We have other creators that are going to be able to take advantage of that infrastructure. And so it's just stuff like that is what I'm talking about, where the future of entertainment is there's going to be a lot of trial and error, and there's going to be a lot of what works for you does not work for the next person. So someone else's model is going to be completely different from mine, and that doesn't mean that that my model is wrong, and it doesn't mean that their model is wrong. It just means that that's just how we do things. There is no right way to do it anymore. Like, just with the growth of the internet and the growth of social media and how you can pick up customers now is different from what it was 30 years ago. That by itself completely changed the game. And now people are making their adjustments. What do they invest in? What do they make the primary theme of their company? Everybody's trying to figure this shit out, and there's no right way. Anybody that's telling you that there is only this way to do it, and like that's just arrogance. And it's also elitism, right? Some of that, and I said this in the post, elitism is only appealing to other elitists, right? And people that would much rather be in that position because it's status, right? It's all about status for them. But that's not necessarily how the market works. And I think that's the importance. It's as much a creative approach as it is an economic one. And you got to keep that in your noggin if you are going to last for years to come as an independent creator in entertainment or doing anything entertainment wise, not just comics. It doesn't matter.
Clip, clip, and snip, snip.